The latest UK inflation data is out. What does it mean for the Bank of England? Core CPI 3.4%, services year on year 4.7%, headline CPI coming at 2.6%, all slightly softer, but there's nothing there that necessarily is going to give the Bank of England the green light to start cutting interest rates in the way that it would like. Not a surprise to see inflation moving a little bit lower. If you look at the Truflation index, which is based on live and up-to-date pricing, you can see that that's been drifting sharply lower from March and has been tracking lower down to about 2.1, 2.20%. So live inflation data is indicating that the official data should start moving lower, particularly around this month, and we should see sharp drops coming up. However, this data point is not enough to give the Bank of England policy committee members clear license to start aggressively cutting interest rates. The Office of Budget Responsibility cut GDP in half for the UK last month, which means that the Bank of England would love to have permission to start cutting interest rates aggressively. If you look at short-term interest rate markets, they see 3 interest rate cuts this year, and some analysts are expecting 1 interest rate cut a quarter now into the end of the year for the Bank of England. The pricing before the UK inflation data saw a 21% chance of a hold. That's now down to 19%. So the base case is now for an interest rate cut in May's meeting, but the reaction to the pound on that inflation data was not sharp selling. That would have been the opportunity, and you can see here in the calendar, if this had come in below market's minimum expectations, if the core had come in below 3.2, headline for the below 2.4, services below 4.6 or lower prior unrevised, then you would have likely seen some sharp selling in the pound. Nevertheless, UK inflation data doesn't change the stir pricing very much, and expectations are for the Bank of England to start cutting interest rates in May's meeting, and you may already have seen in the UK mortgage rates going down as banks see lower rates coming, and so they're locking in more advantageous mortgage rates for customers. It's not a bad time to start looking around if you are coming up shortly for your mortgage renewal. Okay, that's all for now. Take care, folks.